G'day folks, springtime is nearly here, so it's a great time to plant all your bare rooted fruit trees or any fruit trees you got in pots that are starting to get overgrown. New lease of life would be a good idea right now to plant them in the ground. Over the last couple of weeks I had to find some space in the garden, so what I did was I replanted some of the trees to sort of create a staggered sort of look. Most of my trees are now about 4 meters apart, so enough room to get the ride on around and stagger it around, so you can sort of walk around each tree and enjoy sort of looking a little more natural than in rows. So let's take a tour around the garden now that they're all in, all the trees are in the ground, and have a look at what's been planted, what's been done to each tree, and see if they're ready for springtime. Okay, this is the first apple tree closest to the house. It's a miniature, so it's a Crispy Crunch, and it is a miniature. And what I've done here is I've spreaded the lateral branches so they can be more of a 45-degree angle, and yeah, it should look really nice. Over here I've planted a Japanese plum. I think it's a damson plum, I'm not too sure. I lost the tag, but that's also growing quite nicely, ready for spring. I spreaded the top 2 branches just to give it a little bit of spread. It probably needs a lot more pruning once growth starts. Over here I have a locust. I've pruned it down so it's got 3 to 4, oh actually this one's got 5 lateral branches, and I've already seen some growth just there. So I think it's sort of like this position. It gets pretty much all day sun, or most of all day sun, no afternoon sun, so I hear that's quite good for locusts. Over here just a little nectarine, goldmine I think that one is. Coming across to here we have cotton candy. Again, that was pruned. It's got 3 main trunks or branches. Hopefully that will grow into a nice specimen tree. Over here I pruned down this this almond tree. I read the tag and it said it had sort of upward growth characteristics to it. So to encourage a little bit more spread, I took out the middle central leader and left a number of branches, and hopefully through pruning I could get it to spread out a little bit more. Down here the plum cot, Flavor Supreme, which is just about to bloom. It's only small, but I think these things grow pretty quickly, being predominantly a plum. Over here with the spreaders is a pear tree. It's a Corella I think, but I have grafted a few different varieties down below. 3, one on this side, one on that side, and one on the back. If they take, then it should have a few varieties that would be nice. This one here is a Japanese nashi fruit. I'm not too sure the variety. Let me have a quick look. It is a nashi chujuro. So let's see how that one goes. I need to probably get a graft on it because it's the only one I've got. Another pear tree that I'm trying to spread out. This one has been a little bit stubborn in terms of wanting to spread, but see how we go this year. Coming across here we have going back into this part, we have a 3-way apple tree. I wanted to put a few apples around the yard so they're not in the one place. So this one, it gets all day sun, and having 3 varieties would be a good thing in case the ones over there don't give as well. Today I planted this double jewel peach only because it was the last one in the pot. Got some column type peaches here, 2 in fact. They should do alright. Over here another nectarine, I think it is that one. In the center here we have some pomegranates in the 4 corners of this garden bed, and then over here, as you can probably see, there's a locust that I planted from seed, or not from seed, somebody planted from seed. I just dug it out and thought that it'd be a good idea to see if I could graft different varieties on this one. So this one here has 2 more varieties. Now I could have put a paper bag over these to stop them from drying out, or aluminium foil, but you know, I just thought, look, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Going over here to the lemon, seems to have transferred to this position without any hiccups. Most of the lemons have been taken off, and hopefully it will survive and grow some more lemons. This is another one. Relocated it from one of the big barrels. Over here I put another cotton candy in front of the Tory gate. It does grow fast, this cotton candy, so at the moment it doesn't look like much, but I'm guessing it'll be okay. Another one here, which is a Maygrand nectarine, just to match the one that's over there. The 2 column peaches will grow tall and long without any sort of large footprint. So if these spread out, the spacing should be fine. As we walk through the garden, you'll notice that I have another another nectarine over here, just to fill this circle up, or this space up. Coming across to the figs. That one is a brown turkey, I think, and this one is a Preston Prolific. Over here, another apricot that I had to spread. I'm thinking of cutting this branch off here, this one, only because it seems to have crossed over here like that, and I think where that sort of crossed over, it likely will get diseased. I'm not too sure, so maybe this one will come off eventually. Okay, so over here, an almond that died off from the top, only because I transplanted it 3 or 4 times. The bottom seems to be green, the cadmium layer is still there, so I'm hoping to get some new growth from that. We come closer to the espaliated apple trees. You can see that buds are starting to swell. They've been fertilised, and just waiting for them to open up and bloom. I'll keep going across this way, a little bit windy. We have a couple of more pears over here, not pears, plums. So there's a plum here starting to spread, or starting to shoot, sorry. You can sort of see there green tips, and there's another one just in there. So if we come across here, I did plant another fig in this corner here. It's a little bit wet, but I think it might be okay. A wonderful pomegranate, or pomegranate wonderful, I'm going to call it that, just to block this cyclone fence part here. That's why I planted that one there. So you can see now with the apple trees, they're not in a row, although they're in 2 rows, I guess, zigzagged like that. I may take out the ones that are closest to the fruit fortress, but for now I'll let them grow and see how they go. But these ones here are doing really well in terms of all grafted, 3 or 4 varieties on each one. Spreaders have been put on those to keep them spreading outwards. So let's see how they shape out as the growing season commences. Here, I've got to stand back a bit, is a black mulberry, a dwarf variety. I'm exfoliating it against this wall here with the cyclone fence, and you can sort of see that they're starting to bud now. Like I said, in Ballarat we're probably about 3 to 4 weeks behind Melbourne in terms of any sort of development on fruit trees or vegetables. So if they're being blooming, if they are blooming in Melbourne, we will still have to wait another 2-3 weeks here for them to start blooming here or flowering here. It does get hotter in Ballarat during summertime, but definitely a lot colder in winter, and a late start to the season. So if we go into the fruit fortress, because I've been working outside this winter a lot more, I haven't had time to replace the roof. That'll be my job probably during summertime when the weather is a lot better. The plan is to take off the sheets and probably put chicken wire where they are, so it sort of brings in some natural rain and a lot more sunlight. Some people think that I should continue putting the laser light up and getting the warmth in here too, I guess, but I don't know. I think keeping it natural will be better. Okay, let's have a look at these ones here. Now this one is a gold mine. As you can see, it's starting to bud. It's swelling up quite nicely. Again, in here they're a bit slower than outside because they're not getting enough sunlight at this stage. But they did fruit last year, even though it was their first year. We got a couple of fruit off each one, and they tasted pretty sweet actually. This is another Maygran. So what I did was I tried to plant whatever I've got inside the fortress outside as well, just in case things don't go too well inside or outside. Hedge my bets. The Flavour Supreme, again, there's one outside as well. This is quite a vigorous plant. They've been sprayed for leaf curl and fungi and stuff like that, so that's what the blue spray is. Again, I've got a fair few nectarines in here. This one here is an apricot tree. I'll stand back a little bit. And what I did with this one last week is take 3 signwood off the other 3 apricots outside, and each one is now grafted to one of the ones outside. So 1, 2, 3, and the mother plant making it 4. If they take, then it'll be a lovely 4 type apricot tree. If they don't, and only 1 or 2 takes, that's good enough for me. Over here, one of the early varieties of peaches. This one is definitely sprouting new leaves. Again, I'm not too sure about this one. This is the second year it's sprouted new leaves without any flowers whatsoever. Whereas the little ones, even this one, oh, this is not cherry, but even the little ones that I've got did sprout flowers and gave fruit. Whereas that one, for some reason, let's see what variety it is actually. So you can tell me whether this is a good variety or not. It's a Tatura 2004, and like I said, it's never flowered. In the 2 years now that it's been in here, this is the second year. Not one flower, but plenty of leaf development that I can see. Okay, over here there's a cherry tree. I did see somewhere that it was sprouting, I'm not too sure. No, not yet. It must be the one over there that's starting to sprout. Here, a miniature apple tree. I've got two more I could do. I grafted these onto a miniature gala, and it's got, I don't know, 3 or 4 different varieties of apples that are now being grafted on that. So if any of those take, then this will be quite a nice little tree in here that doesn't take much space, and will have a few varieties. Going over to this one, again another Flavour Supreme apricot plum, or plum apricot. I have 2 of these in here. I could have removed one and put a different type here, but I just remember it being a really nice tree, so quite a healthy, vigorous tree, so I left it for now. The Smyrna quince has now also got a pineapple quince grafted to it. Let's go on this side so you can sort of see that's a graft there, and if that takes, then I'll be pretty happy with the 2 varieties that this has got. Over here again we've got which is a white Adriatic fig tree. It reads that it's not as vigorous as the other ones, and that's why I planted it here. Another cotton candy. Again, I quite like the shape of this tree. I left it for now. There's 2 of those. Another nectarine. Let's see if it flowers this year. This one. I put in a Fuyu persimmon here, so there's one inside as well as outside. There's 2 outside actually in the garden. This one is just to keep the varieties going on the inside here. Alright, so if we head back out here, I've got something that I'd love to show you. I bought 4 Jala avocados. This is one, and you can see how lush and green it is. And this is another one. I see on this side, it lost all its leaves. It's still green, it's still alive, but it's amazing when you buy 3 of the same thing, all look like this one when I bought it. One continued, the other 2 had stressed, I guess. And this one here is an avocado seedling, so I'll probably try to graft onto that when the time comes. So I'm down to only a few pots of fruit trees. I'm hoping to finally get these ones out and either gift them or find another spot in the garden somewhere. Over here I put a pear tree that's been grafted as well from one of the ones outside, and in the corner here is some figs that I obtained from the Ballarat Community Garden that are supposed to be really nice variety. I'm just trying to see if I can get them to strike. Here there's mulberries that I'm trying to strike as well, and a few other things like that, raspberries and currants. Now this is the other cherry. As you can see, this one here must be an earlier variety. I did graft this one on. You can sort of still see the graft just there, but that could be a later variety. So this is the early one starting to bloom, and this looks a little bit dead, this one here, but I'll let it go for now. Alrighty, so that is pretty much where we are for the middle of August. Things are starting to move in terms of bud swell and flower swell and things like that, and I'm hoping now that I've got everything in its position and they'll settle down, that they will grow quite nicely during the spring and summer of this year. Down the back here in the pen there are 3 large table olives trees that are growing. I think I've pruned them enough to get some vigorous growth this year. I've opened up the centers, as you can see. The fruit does grow on new growth that grows this year, not on old growth. So maybe I should prune them down a little bit more, but for now I think I'll give it a go like this. So yeah, they're doing all right too. G'day, today I'm going to demonstrate how to do a cleft graft. I've got this very small miniature apple tree. It's a crispy crunch miniature, and I'll be putting on some old world apples through grafting. Rightio, then we've got a few tools that I use for cleft grafting. The first one is a secateur, Stanley knife, box cutter, some budding tape and some grafting wax. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is use my box cutter and slice a careful wedge on both sides, so you leave a little bit of cambium layer on one side. Just give that a bit more of a clean up, and this side a bit more as well. Okay, so you can sort of see the size of the bark and the cadmium layer. The other side doesn't have to have any on there, but at least one side. Okay, the first part of the cleft grafting is to cut a wedge on both sides, about an inch long, give or take, or 25 mil. And I just keep slicing it until I get that wedge really flat and tapered, so it has a little bit of cambium layer on both sides, a little bit of bark, and that should hopefully do. The next part would be to take off this branch, probably all the way to about here, and maybe even this branch here as well. Cool. Okay, once that's done, I will put my Stanley knife right on top like that and tap with my secateurs. As you can see, I've cut a wedge or cleft into that bit out of focus, but into that main part of the tree. Now I need to put this wedge into that cleft and try to keep the cadmium layer as close to in line as possible. Okay, I've slotted the sign wood into the tree, into the cleft, and I've left a little arched window on both sides that will help with the healing as the graft takes. Now it's about putting the budding tape from bottom up and basically wrapping it around really tight. Okay, as you can see, I've put the sign wood into the cleft and I've wrapped some budding tape all the way up. Now this sign wood is a little bit long, so I'm going to snip it down by a half. There you go. That's not a bad size. It could be a little bit shorter, but I'll leave it like that. So the next stage would be to apply some grafting wax around the joint area, and the plastic above is just very lightly put on so it holds the moisture until the graft takes and starts to leaf out. The grafting wax has been applied, and now It's about waiting to see if it's been successful or not. So these are the date palms I planted probably about 5-6 years ago. So yeah, it's been about 5 or 6 years since they've been planted, and now you can sort of see that the house is pretty much getting blocked from the size of these palm trees. Yeah, so they're looking pretty cool. The entry to the house, the left hand side palms are growing much bigger than the ones on the right here, and I'm guessing that's due to the trees that are taking away a lot of the moisture in the ground, whereas the ones in the middle get all the moisture they need. And from another angle, and another angle, to really appreciate what they will look like when they get a lot taller. Like I said, they're about 7 years old from seed, I guess. 2 years when I bought them, 5 or 6 years in the ground, and yeah, they're getting bigger.